You see what I mean? Yep. Yep.
I just think that presupposes like knowledge that colors exist on a spectrum. Like you can know what a color is without knowing that it exists on a spectrum.
You can know what color is. I guess that's true. You could, like, what about brown? Right? You can know that what brown is without and think, is that in the spectrum? Is that in the spectrum? It never occurred to me. Yeah. And you could think with red and orange and yellow. Yeah. You could think maybe they're all like brown. Right? Maybe I know what they all are, but are they on a spectrum? Am I getting it? Is that the question?
Kind of. I
Yeah.
guess what I'm saying is like if you show like what you just said, like you show a child an orange,
Yeah.
they would know that that is orange without knowing that there's like a spectrum of colors that orange exists on.
That's very good. Okay, so then my next question is, you know and I know that red and orange and yellow are on a spectrum. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. How do we know that? Did we do tests? Did we weigh and measure?
I did not. I'm sure
Somebody did it.
extracted UV radiation or something.
UV radiation?
Something
That's
wherever you get color from. You know?
Yeah.
Spectrum, like
Yeah. But don't you just need to paint them? Don't you just need to paint it? What I mean is, don't you just need a spectrum? Don't you just need a rainbow? You see what I mean? You don't need to know anything about UV radiation or any of that stuff. You just need to see the spectrum.
But I don't need to see the spectrum to know what orange is. You know?
That's right. No, I really agree with that. And that is picking up on the last point. And these are really good, sharp points. Yeah. So I just agree with that. But the question is, when you do the next step and you get to this fancy state of sophistication that you or I are in, where we do know that orange is in between red and yellow, my question is, how did we get to that next step? And what I'm saying about that is, we didn't need to do any of that stuff about UV radiation. If you just showed us a rainbow and said, look where the orange is, right in between the red and the yellow, we could do that, right? You could do that just by thinking about it. So once you knew what red and orange and yellow meant, you didn't need to have addressed the question, is the one in between the others? Do I even know what in between means here? Yeah, that's really the basic thing you're saying. I didn't even know what in between meant here. Yeah, but once you've got it, what I mean in between, and you've got it, what orange and yellow and red mean, then that's everything. That's the whole story. Yeah. Now I don't need any of that stuff about UV radiation. I can just do it right immediately now. So my knowledge of the meanings of those terms, and I guess really the way to put what you're highlighting is, what does in between mean? Yeah. I could know what orange meant without knowing what in between meant. But once you've explained to me what in between means, then I'm home. Then I know the whole story. Yeah. Okay, without any further work being needed. Yeah. Yeah.
So would you say that just having an understanding that orange exists regardless of its existence on the spectrum is not knowing the full story, and then just knowing that it's between yellow and red is understanding?
Yeah. That is really an interesting question. I guess I would say it is just being able to recognize orange already takes quite a bit. Because of that thing about how it shades into other colors, you need to know something about when something is not orange, as well as something about when it is orange. You see what I mean? If you are good at saying a black surface like this is not orange, yeah, but then if I give you a red thing, you're at a loss. I say, is that orange? I don't know, hard to say, right? Then I think you don't yet know what orange is. Yeah, that's okay. So you've got to be able to tell something about where the boundaries between orange and red fall in order to know what orange is. But what I'm agreeing with I'm missing something about what you just said. What I'm agreeing with these last sharp questions is that you could know what orange and yellow and so on meant without having that idea of a structure for the colors. But you've got to have boundaries between the colors in order to know what any one of them is. Yeah. That was an astonishingly sharp set of questions. Yes. Sorry, say that again.
I'm sorry, I feel like some of what we're talking about now is getting into epistemology and terminology. So, like for analytics, would it be correct to say that you would just think of the state purely based off of the definitions and facts that we have at hand, and
Yeah.
we don't necessarily need the epistemology side to say that this is an analytic?
Some of that is right. If you just got if you know what the terms mean, right? That's where the thing you say about definition is right. If you know what the terms mean, then epistemology means it has something to do with knowledge, right? So this is about knowledge. You can know that the whole thing is true just because you know what the words mean. Yeah? So it's connecting terminology and definitions to epistemology. Once you've got definitions, then that gives you a little bit of knowledge for free. The knowledge is maybe not much. The knowledge is maybe nothing to write home about. Though, as these guys were pointing out, there's a sense in which it's substantial. There's a sense in which you had to do some work to get it. Yeah? But still, you had all the bases for your knowledge because you knew the meanings of the original words. There was someone else. Yeah.
Is that implying that qualia is a kind of analytic tool?
Qualia? No. First of all, qualia is a word, not a sentence, right? It's only sentences that are true or false.
No. That's my feeling. And qualia, how do people feel their experience when we count it as an analytic tool?
Yes, that's a great question. If you know what qualia are, right? If you know what experiences are, then must you know that they exist? Is that your question? Is that? No? Everybody else is saying no. Have I? Did I miss the question? Tell me again.
So, orange, the knowledge about color is a kind of qualia, right?
Well, knowledge about color experiences is knowledge about qualia.
It's some kind of qualia. And when we talk about orange between yellow and red, it's about qualia, right?
Not the way I was using it. I mean, if I'm a great artist painting up here for you, right, and then I put a bit of orange in there, as great artists do, I put a bit of orange in it, and I say to you, look, I say as great artists do, that one's in between the yellow and the yellow and the red, right? Then I'm talking to you about my painting. I'm talking to you about stuff out there. That's not qualia, because that can be taken away and sold. Yeah? You see what I mean? That very arrangement with the orange in it can be moved around the globe and sold, whereas my qualia are right here in my mind, and they can't be bought and sold. Does that make sense? Yep.
I guess like the experience of Monday, like knowing that something is Monday. Like
Yeah.
you can't move Monday around. This is like an abstract title that you give
That's right.
this period of time, right?
Yeah.
So like I'm experiencing what I have labeled Monday.
I'm experienced with it. Yes, right.
So how is Monday then a qualia? Because I'm experiencing it?
No. Monday is safe, right? It would be it would be very upsetting if Monday turned out to be qualia, right? I mean, Jesus. This is a heady set of questions. Let me see. How could it be qualia? I mean, even if everybody died on Sunday, there would still be Monday, right? I mean, there would. Take my word for it. Even if everyone was knocked out and nobody had any qualia on Monday, right, because they were all in coma, and then they woke up on Tuesday, there would still have been Monday. Right. Surely. Okay. I'm holding on to the lectern here. Yes?
I just want to make sure that the knowledge about color has become an objective truth.
Yes, it is an objective truth. That's what I'm saying. It's not a truth about your mind. That is an important point. We'll come back to that. I can see that there are ways you might object to that. Yeah, but on the face of it, if I'm selling my color compositions at vast prices across the world, if galleries are collecting them, if hundreds of years from now they're saying, what a good sense of color balance he had, yeah, then that's not something about my qualia. That's something about what I did with the paint and the canvas. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so much for analytic truth. So let's see what you guys think about synthetic truths. So, actually, and before we go on, when Carnap says X is excited means this stuff about behavior, is that analytic for Carnap? Yes, exactly. Who said that? Yeah. That's the whole point, right? That's why I'm bringing that in now. Because he's saying I can define X is excited like that, right? Synthetic truth. Synthetic truth is when you don't know the truth of the whole thing just because you know the meanings of the parts. So if I say, there's a green fly on my roses, then you might know what green fly is and you might know what roses are, but not know that that's true, right? It might be a nasty shock. Yes? You didn't know that was true just because you knew the meanings of the words. You had to look. The whale is a mammal. You can know perfectly well what the word whale means and what the word mammal means and think that whales are fish. Gold is atomic number 79. Looky, here comes Cookie. I mean, I don't know what you'd call that exactly, but it's not an analytic truth. I mean, it might be a lie. You see what I mean? You can know what it meant, but not think it's true. Yes?
The thing I don't get about the whale one, though, is that, like, if you know what a whale is, wouldn't you know that?
Well, I mean, suppose you live in some part where whales are just what you cook and eat, right? Whales are what you live by. Your family has done this for generations. On the face of it, you know lots about whales. Your body may consist largely of ex-whale parts, right? So on the face of it, you really know a whole lot about whales, but you might well think they're fish. Isn't that right? Would you really? Oh, you must know they're a mammal. Huh?
So for me, that's like the Bachelor's Unmarried, like a whale is a mammal.
A whale.
To me, the Bachelor's Unmarried is similar to a whale is a mammal.
Yeah, there's something really right about that. I agree that if you're looking at the thing and asking, what is the thing? Then in the case of the bachelor, that is, how should I say, deeply unmarried. And in the case of the whale, that is deeply a mammal. That is just definitely true of the thing. Yeah. But this is about the words and what the words mean. Yeah. And the difference there is you couldn't know what the word bachelor meant without knowing that it's a mammal. Sorry. I can feel my credibility diminishing by the minute. Let me try that again. Watch me very closely here. You might know what the word bachelor meant without knowing that bachelors are unmarried. Yes, isn't that right? No, wait a minute. I did that wrong again. Okay, let me take it from the top. You couldn't know what the word bachelor meant without knowing that bachelors are unmarried. Was that right? Okay, moving on. Whereas you could perfectly well know what the word whale means without knowing that whales are mammals. Yeah, and what you say is true about the things, it's just not true about the words. Yeah, there were a couple of, have they gone away? Questions at the, yeah. Okay, so let's